Hello there my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And today I'm going to be talking again about who else? Colt and Jessica. So this was an episode I think quite frankly I wish I couldn't see. Yes, I wish I couldn't see it all. Jess's finger was inches from Debbie's face. Debbie was sent off in an Uber in the middle of the night on her own. And we all got to see Colt's muffin top. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got quite a lot to discuss. But before I do, please don't hesitate to press the red subscribe button and join the Ebird family. And also, please don't forget to like and share if you enjoy the video. So we pick up where we left off last week at a big meal at Jess's family home. And there were all of Jess's family, aunts and uncles and cousins and so on, and her dad. And they were meeting Colt and Debbie for the first time. And Jess had just asked Colt, "What is it you want from me? Do you want to make Larissa jealous? What are your intentions?" And Colt looked sincerely at Jess's dad and said, "I love your daughter very much. I'd like to marry her and have children." And he stoked up those sincerity levels when he said, "I think your daughter is the best person I've ever met." And you guys, there literally was not enough ceiling for me to roll my bloody eyes at. And her dad said to Jess, "He seems as if he's sincere. I hope he is. In that case, I accept him as your boyfriend." What? Jeff has been beefing this whole thing up, this big meeting, for the past 4 or 5 weeks, and with 2 or 3 insincere words from Colt, he's got Jess's dad eating out of his hand. What a pushover, what a letdown, and what a goddamn disappointment. And honestly guys, I literally cannot believe it was so easy to talk them round. Jess and her family all seemed happy after that. It's possible they're simpletons. In fact, it's probable they're simpletons. And I honestly do not believe that Colt wants to marry Jess. I think it's very clear that Colt's out for a good time and he knows by dangling the green card, he'll get what he wants and when he wants it. And then I believe he'll pull the plug. But then Debbie piped up. Debbie wants to say a few words. Am I the only person that thinks this is moving too fast? Oh, Debbie Downer, she never lets us down. And as she attempted to elaborate further, Jess shut her down. And she said, "Debbie, it's nothing to do with you." And Debbie said, "You've only known each other for such a short time." And Jess said, "I am not Larissa. I am different from Larissa. I am nothing like Larissa." Yes, you're right, Larissa was at least fit. And Debbie lied and said she's not comparing the two of them. Yes, you are, Debbie. Oh, yes, you are. And then Debbie prodded her a bit and said, "Why are you getting so defensive?" And Jess just started shouting. And I couldn't really work out even what she was saying. She was like, "Debbie, Debbie, Debbie, wait, wait, wait. Be quiet, be quiet." And then she put a bossy and controlling finger right in Debbie's face. And Debbie said, "Don't you put your hand in my face." And the table fell into a shocked silence. And Jess said loudly, "Son of a bitch," in Brazilian. And then another expletive, far too disgusting for me to say on this platform. Oh, alright then. She told her to fuck off. And guys, I couldn't believe it. She was like a little spoiled brat. She suddenly turned into like a little demon child. And then Colt said, hold up, wait a minute. Now Jess, calm down. Jess, calm down. Really, Colt, is that what you've got? Jess, calm down. You're right, Jess, you're not Larissa, because those two would have called the police by now had it have been Larissa. And Debbie said, "I'm going to leave, I'm going to go home." And it was kind of really early and it was halfway through the meal, but she didn't want to be there any longer. And she said, "I'm going back to my hotel." And Colt said, "Okay then, I'll call you a taxi." And Debbie looked shell-shocked and she fixed Colt with a steely glare and said, "Are you going to leave me on my own in a taxi to drive through Brazil?" And Colt said, "Yeah, you'll be fine." And I thought, wow, Colt, just wow. Thrown her under the bus. That's the least of it. You've gone and hired a bus just so you can drive over her. So guys, what do you think to this? I've been very conflicted on thinking, should Debbie have gone home alone or should Colt have just gone with her? On the side of saying she should go home alone is the fact that, one, she came to Brazil on her own. I mean, she wasn't invited to Brazil, she invited herself. So she had to realise that she would spend some time alone because of course the two lovebirds want to spend some time alone as well. And then the second thing is, she wasn't drunk, she was completely compos mentis. So there's no real reason why she shouldn't be going home alone, I guess. But on the other hand, I think Colt should have shown a little bit of support for his mum, and if she wanted to go and he went with her, it would signal Jess, you can't call my mother out of her name and still expect that I'm going to sit here and drink and eat with you. Are you crazy? And then of course there's a safety issue. Was it safe for Debbie to go home in a place that she didn't necessarily know? and wouldn't recognise when she got there with a random taxi person in another country. And let's not forget, she's never been out of America. I think if it had been me, I would have said, Jess, apologise now. And then I would have said, Mum, stay a bit longer because I want to get to know Jess's family. And then I would have said, if you can stay another half an hour, we'll both go home together. So it didn't look as if we were having an argument and then storming out. So Colt stayed on and drank into the night with Jessica's family. And the following day he went to see Mum in her hotel room. And as he walked in, I did think, why does Colt always wear a suit? He's actually on holiday in Brazil. And he told production just before he saw his mum he didn't feel bad about the taxi and that he'd had a fantastic night. The truth be told, guys, I did think he would have changed his mind, and I did think he would feel a little bit sheepish the next morning, but he's brazen. He literally doesn't care. And Debbie said, I'm concerned about a few things. And Colt said, oh, like what? As if nothing had happened the night before. Oh Lord. And Debbie said, did you not notice the way that Jessica got rude and put her hand in my face and was completely disrespectful? I was respectful with her and her family, and that's why I left early. But if she does it again, I will say something. And Colt said, oh, I didn't really notice. I'm sorry that happened to you, Mum. Colt, she doesn't want an apology from you. She would like an apology from the person who did it, Jessica. And she would also like for you to actually acknowledge that it did happen and not just breeze downstairs as if all is right with the world. Yeah, this scene did pee me off a bit because I thought, Colt, what a total lack of respect. And the next time we catch up with these guys, we see Colt and Jess. And they're going to the beach. And I really don't know what season this is, but it always seems low-key windy and not particularly sunny. Maybe it's just where it is, Sao Paulo. I haven't been there, but I have been to like Rio and so on. And it was scorching hot every single day. The beach was a dream. And Jess was walking down the street, already in her bikini. But Colt performed a striptease for the viewers. And oh, what a sight it was. So he literally took off his shorts, and underneath he had these bathing trunks. I don't know what you guys call them. And he kind of awkwardly stumbled around on the beach, trying to rearrange himself. And suddenly, a thought struck me. Now, standing in the ruins of this post-apocalyptic, COVID-ravaged hellhole that we call our planet, there might be, in fact, there probably is, a few thousand people scouring round for a payday, a windfall, a way to make money. And it's at times like this when you say, Auntie Ebird, thank the Lord I know you. Everybody stop what you're doing and listen to this. All you'll need to make your millions will be the following: a pen, a clipboard, reams and reams of paper, a flight to Sao Paulo, and a lawyer. Because there's a 100% chance of a big paying class action legal case for PSTD for anyone that's caught even the merest glimpse of Colt on the beach in Sao Paulo. So we're currently looking for people who have been affected by this incident. Anybody that was on the beach on the day in question can join our class suit against the defendant Colt for putting innocent beachgoers in the position where they may get PTSD. Cut yourself a deal, say 10% of the spoils, and voila, Benjamins for everybody. You're welcome. So Jess and Colt had a little chat on the beach, and Jess was moaning, saying that she thought Debbie treated her like she was Larissa and compared her all the time to Larissa. Now, I'm going to say this much. Debbie does compare her to Larissa because Larissa was Brazilian, you are Brazilian, Larissa wanted a green card, you want a green card. Larissa was disrespectful, you seem disrespectful. I'm drawing a few parallels, Jessica, I'm drawing a few parallels. But don't we love what Larissa did? Larissa got into Jess's mind so much that no matter the merest mention of anything about Debbie, and she's already screaming and saying she doesn't like me, she thinks I'm Larissa. Larissa's managed to get right under her skin. And remember, you guys, I said it doesn't matter how untrue it is or how outlandish whatever somebody says. If a seed is dropped into somebody's mind, it will only take the merest little bit of water for it to start to grow. And it started growing immediately with Jess, and I don't think she'll ever put it down. I call the end for their relationship. And so Colt said, well, maybe she's just worried about losing me with you talking about marriage and kids. And Jess said, you're a baby boy. You really are. And Colt snapped. He said, don't keep calling me baby boy. I am not a baby boy. And she said, well, you live with your mum. And he said, well, wouldn't you live with your dad if your dad needed help? And if he was sick and you had to look after him? And Jess said, but that's not the same. Come on now, Colt. Your mum's not sick. Your mum makes your bed, cooks all your food, washes all the pots, and cleans all your clothes. That is why you live at home, because you're a lazy little mofo. It certainly isn't because Debbie's sick. And Colt really didn't like this idea that he was being called a baby. And he said, I'm a man. I've been married. How long for, Colt? And then they both told each other that they loved each other and they wanted to be together and they wanted to get married and have kids. And that's where we leave things for this week. So I don't know when I've ever seen a less convincing display of two people allegedly in love and allegedly wanting to create a union. Jess doesn't want a long-term relationship with Colt. She just sees a way to get a green card or to get on TV and put herself in the shop window. And that's Jess's motive. Colt, as we've already said, just wants sex. Debbie has absolutely nothing to be worried about. But I can't help but think Jessica's family were a little bit remiss. They didn't really put Colt through the paces. And nor did they pull up Jess on her bad language and bad attitude. I would have been throttled by my dad if I ever told someone to F off in his presence. I don't even know what would do because no one's ever done it. It's too much of an obscure concept. I just can't imagine it ever happening in reality. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that Jessica was as rude as all hell to Debbie? And do you think Debbie really didn't do anything wrong for once? I think she's right. It is too soon to be talking about kids and family for the simple fact of they may have known each other for 6 months, but they've only actually been together for about 10 days or 12 days. It isn't very many days at all. Considering her son's already made one mistake, I can understand that she would voice her concern. I would do the same. And also I want you to put down below, what do you think to Colt letting Debbie go home on her own? Would you have done the same thing? Let me know down below in comments and we'll all have a chat. Please remember to make Ebird a very happy Ebird and press that big red button. It says subscribe. That's all you have to do. And I'll be back soon with some more great videos. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Thank you for letting me get it all off my chest. Ciao for now.